Hi, welcome to the second episode of the series of Google App Inventor tutorials that I'm doing, and today I'm going to be going over the basics of logic. And logic is extremely useful. It's used in many different types of apps that you might be thinking of making, and it's one of the most important things to know, in my opinion, for Google App Inventor. So this is going to be a fairly quick tutorial, just going over what you need to know. So on the built-in tab here we've got logic, and this includes true, false, not, equals, and or, and then also this is used in conjunction with some of the control commands, specifically if, that I'm going to be showing you in this tutorial. And just to give you an idea of what I've got at the moment, I've just got the button and the picture that I had from the previous tutorial, and I'm going to edit it so that when you check a checkbox it comes up with the picture, instead of when you click the button it comes up with the picture. So I'm just going to get rid of the click for picture button, and I'm also going to, it's already got rid of it in the blocks editor. So we've got the picture here. The visibility is set to false, but because I've ticked display invisible components in viewer, you can see it at the moment. That just makes it easier to keep track of. So the first thing you want to do is just drag a checkbox above the picture, and I'm just going to edit the text so it says, do you own an Android phone? And then basically you've got a nice little checkbox with that text next to it. We don't really need to edit anything here, it's all fairly standard, unless you want to change the width and height. And then we're going to go onto the blocks editor, which I've already got open, and we're going to begin constructing the commands. So firstly, go onto My Blocks and find the checkbox that you've just made, and basically you want to say that when the checkbox 1 is changed, so basically when the state of being checked or unchecked is changed, you want a certain command to be performed, and in this case what you want it to do is to check whether it is in the checked or unchecked state, if that makes any sense. So basically you want to say, when its state changes, read which state it's in. So to do that we just want to go onto the logic commands, and basically we're going to make a procedure that's going to read which state it's in, and that procedure is going to start with control. So we're going to go on to if, and you can see here there's a test and a then do. The test is basically testing whether a certain variable is true or not, and the then do is the command that's performed if the test comes back as true. If the test comes back as false, then it won't perform that command that's underneath here in the then do part. So our test is going to be whether the checkbox is checked or not, and in order to do that we just need to go on to My Blocks again and find the checkbox and find the checkbox 1 checked variable, and this little light purple box is basically the piece of information that will tell us whether it's checked or not, and we want to find out whether that is equal to, and that's under logic, we want to find out whether it's equal to true. So logic true. So our test is now saying, it's basically asking the app, is checkbox 1 checked? Is it true? And if it is, then we're going to get it to perform a command, and the command that we want it to perform is to actually set the image visibility to true. Oh, sorry, I did that wrong. And you should already know how to do this if you watched my previous tutorial. You just need to find the set image visible to box and then drag on the true block. So just to summarise, basically we're saying if the checkbox 1 is checked, then the visibility of the image will be set to true. It will become visible from being previously invisible. And now, as I said before, we basically need to get this procedure to happen when the state of the checkbox is changed. So to do this we need to go on to built-in, definition, then procedure, and then drag it onto this whole thing so it clips in with the if, and you can see it goes around the whole thing now. I'm going to rename this check procedure. So basically what we've done now is we've created a procedure. Oh sorry, you have to have underscores in it. You can't have any spaces in names like this. And basically what we want to do is get this procedure to happen every time the state of the checkbox is changed, and we've said that we've defined this whole thing as a procedure. So in order to call that when the state is changed, we just need to go onto My Definitions, and it will be right there, check procedure. And call check procedure basically means call the procedure for being executed to actually perform the command. So every time the state is changed, it's going to call this procedure and it's going to happen. So basically, I'll just connect to the emulator now, which I've already got open, and we're going to see that when you check the box, it's going to set the visibility of the image to true through this procedure here, checking whether it is checked first through our test variable here. And this is basically the basics of logic, although when you get onto making more advanced apps, you don't really generally need to know much more than this. It's all fairly simple with the logic. You just got to make sure that you basically keep a track of everything you're doing and make sure that you try to complicate it as little as possible. So here we go, we've got a checkbox here, and when we check it, bam, Tech4D, the logo appears. And it's really easy to actually make it so that when you uncheck the box again, the image disappears. You just need to simply go onto the blocks editor, copy and paste this whole thing here, and then it will be named check procedure 2, and then basically change it so that if the checkbox is false, so it's not checked, then you set the image visibility to false. And it's really just as easy as that. Then all you need to do is make sure that when the state of the checkbox is changed, you just call both procedures at the same time, so check procedure 1 and check procedure 2. And then if we look now at the emulator, we need to connect to it again, unfortunately. You just need to restart the app every so often if you make any changes to the blocks editor, although some minor changes do actually not require the app to be restarted, which is actually quite convenient and useful. But generally most things you'll have to restart the app for. And now you can see that when you check the box it appears, and when you uncheck it, it disappears. So thank you for watching, and I will catch you next time.